all our trust in Him. We seek Allah's protection against the evils of our arms and our hearts. Bear witness that none deserves to be worshipped except Allah alone, the guardian of the righteous. And I bear witness that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is Allah's apostle and also His servant. I seek Allah's justest blessings upon him, upon members of His worthy household, His courageous companions, and upon all those who will continue to follow their footsteps till the day of accounting. Thereafter, we extend the best courtesy by saying, may Allah's peace and blessings abide with us. Good evening and welcome to tonight's Family Talim, courtesy Dawah Front of Nigeria. We ask Allah to bless the Dawah Front of Nigeria, the leadership of the Dawah Front, the membership of Dawah Front, and the admirers of Dawah Front. Anybody that is contributing to this program deserves Allah's blessings. So we ask Allah to bless everybody that has been contributing and that will contribute. Tonight we want to join 3 unusual situations, give examples, and then begin diagnosis. They are psychospiritual and emotional situations, unusual psychospiritual and emotional situations. Psychospiritual situations are sometimes difficult to distinguish whether the problem is psycho or spiritual. We are not likely to be able to say that a particular problem is psychological or spiritual, but our interest is the emotional manifestation of those problems. The way somebody thinks, if it is unusual, unnatural, we say that is a psychological problem. But when it is diagnosed, we find that there is a fundamental spiritual cause of the trouble, and the trouble now manifests as an emotional problem. I will not be able to exhaust all the examples that we have seen, but I will open it for us, because again, we have seen many situations between last week and this evening. We have seen many situations and we have received many feedbacks. We have encountered situations that we did not envisage. One of them is narcissism. Narcissism. When somebody does not care about others, sometimes he cares only for himself, and we say this is narcissism. This narcissist developed from extreme selfishness. But sometimes a narcissist does not even care about himself. He lives absent-mindedly. He doesn't care about his appearance. He doesn't care about his livelihood, safety, health, nothing. He doesn't really care. He looks like he's not living in this world. He's just marking time. But when you probe deeper, you find that, yes, narcissism is a psychological problem. But how it affects and manifests in emotional situation is that the narcissist does not ask for sex. And that is the main issue in marriage. He does not remember he has children. Next, believe that whatever he does is right. He does not believe that anybody can advise him or her. He does not believe that anybody knows his or her problem. So he looks down upon everybody and just interacts with you for formality sake and for courtesy. Unfortunately, they're usually great. There is this element of narcissism in every great person. They are narrow-minded and they listen only to their own voices. So when it develops in a great person, he becomes unaware of anybody. He wants to achieve a purpose and he doesn't want you to advise him. Even when he fails, he still believes that he doesn't need how to get out of trouble. It's a very serious problem. This narcissism can be hijacked by shaitan to now lead to the following unusual psychospiritual emotional situations. One, homosexuality. Let us know from the beginning that those who first practiced homosexuality were the people of Lut. And that means it is prehistory, if our own history did not start from the people of Lut. And therefore, the people of Lut will continue to exist. It is a spiritual problem that a man is attracted to another man. A woman is attracted to another woman. Lesbianism. It has several manifestations. It is not just that, it is just that homosexuality and lesbianism happen to be the peak of this unusual psychospiritual emotional situation. Incest is part of it. When a brother sleeps with his sister, when a son sleeps with his mother, when a mother seduces her son to sleep with her and she enjoys it, and she enjoys it more than her husband, and she does everything to keep it secret and does not want anybody to know. You know, when a father sleeps with his daughter and does not want the daughter to, in fact, sometimes there will be so much cooperation between father and daughter that nobody will know. And there have been situations where daughters have got pregnant through the father several times and they have aborted it. There have been situations where marriages of daughters crash because the husband is not like her father. And they've been having it since she was a teenager. There have been situations where daughters were not able to successfully marry because she wouldn't want her brother to let go. And the brother must not also marry because they are couple and so on. We have found these situations. Don't be shocked. Those who practice homosexuality in Medina were Muslims. And because of them, Allah revealed ayat in Surah An-Nisa, prelude to the punishment of zina in Surah An-Nur. Those who link the ayat in Surah to Nisa to the ayat of punishment for zina in Surah to Nur are extremely cautious. They didn't want to admit the fact that what Allah is talking about is lesbianism and homosexuality. So they now want to say that the women that Allah talks about are those who committed zina. It's not zina they committed. They committed homosexuality. A woman slept with a woman. They were Muslims. And Allah says, confine them to their houses till they die or till Allah brings another law. So they now want us to believe that they were people who committed zina, and the first punishment for zina was confinement, and then Allah brought a new law. The new law we're talking about is flogging, and it has to do with zina, right? But zina by those who are not married and is heterosexual. Allah explains it, man and woman, boy and girl. And the next ayah is about two men. Allah did not specify their punishment. Allah only says they should be punished. It's a psychological situation, a way of thinking. What makes it interesting to us is that it's unnatural. It's unnatural for a man to be attracted to a man. It's unnatural for a woman to be attracted to a woman. It's unnatural for a brother to sleep with his sister. It's unnatural for a father to sleep with his daughter. Yorubani, but people do it. We have seen situations among Muslims. The mother died and he converted his daughter to his wife, and the daughter could not marry. And in fact, it happened in our university. And the man was giving all sorts of excuses why the daughter could not marry. The daughter was going to 40 because the daughter is his wife. In this case, the mother is not dead. The daughter could not find a man like her father. It's an unusual situation. We'll come back to that. So we find pedophile. The pedophile is also a psycho-spiritual and emotional situation. It's an unusual psycho-spiritual and emotional situation. This is very strange. While a man will want to do it with a baby, 3-year-old, 4-year-old, 5-year-old, the cases we have seen start from days old. Babies, days old, baby, not months, not 1 month, days old. And up to 6 years. We have not seen pedophiles that do it with girls that are above 6 years. And homosexuality with small boys is unusual. It's a serious psycho-spiritual and emotional problem. We also find a situation where a wife is attracted to and seduces her father-in-law, her brother-in-law, where a man sleeps with his mother-in-law. You might say, but these are life issues, things that have happened. A man sleeping with his sister-in-law. Well, of course, that is why the Prophet Islam says the brother of a man is death to his wife if he lives with them. And then it is not envisaged that the sister will live with them. So if the brother is dead to the wife, what is the sister to the husband. So these are situations that you can hardly defend and you can hardly condemn. She won't be wearing hijab, for example. If she will wear hijab, she will be wearing hijab all the time. Once in a while, you will see her in a near nakedness. So, as a human being, matters will arise. The younger brother of a of a of a husband will see his brother's wife in a near nakedness most of the time, especially the kind of houses we live in. The wife will not be wearing hijab all the time, and we can explain the psychological part of it that matters may arise. Sometimes the brother that stays with his brother is a jobless person or is a student and he's always around. Going to look at very briefly tonight, we are going to look at the satanic connection. We are going to look at the platforms that Shaitan uses to cause these unusual psycho-spiritual and emotional situations. Basically, if we start from the king of this situation, homosexuality, it is a spiritual problem. Shaitan denatures the homosexual and the lesbian. This person is suffering from Shaitan. No more, no less. However, there are three ways by which Shaitan handles human beings to make them go into homosexuality. Number one, Shaitan directly making a person behave like the people of Lut. This is very difficult to establish. In this case, it is either through a demon that may not be traced to anybody. Once in a while, Shaitan tempts men. He will be playing around the anus and then he will enter. He will say it's a mistake. Sometimes the woman will encourage the man to try it when they fully know that it is wrong. But sometimes the man initiates and consciously accepts a spiritual condition for wealth or and power. I give an example of what happened in Abuja. The woman was enduring anal with her husband, but she didn't ask question why the husband will pay her 1 million naira anytime they had anal sex. She felt that the husband enjoyed it, and so um, he just gave her money. At the point, they stopped the normal, natural intimacy, and he begins um, to do only anal. Now she raised alarm. She came to complain. Then we invited the husband. The husband thundered, threatened, and said we should ask her what commodity he was buying from her, that he was paying her 1 million naira every time they had it. That is a condition for the wealth. And he was paying her. He went to look for money, and they said he should start from anal with his wife, and he should pay. That he was going to graduate to man and man, but he should start learning anal sex with his wife first before he goes to full-scale homosexuality. And he was making the money. The money was coming. So how can he now say, how can she now complain? She had enjoyed it, she had benefited from it, and if she says no, she was going to see the consequences. The woman said, no, haram. Well, we kept quiet, because how did it become haram? Why wasn't it haram all along? When did it become haram? Then he told her, you cannot divorce me. If you do, you die. And you must not tell anybody after this imam, referring to me. And he left. The following week, the woman fell ill. There was no diagnosis for the illness. The husband told her there is no cure for her illness. This is how she was going to die, unless she agrees to keep it secret and that she will not divorce him. She had become his ATM. The woman had no choice, but the man no longer had intimacy with her. He had upgraded to man. He was now doing it man to man, homosexuality, full homosexuality. But he was making more money. At a point, the woman died. People said she committed suicide. We don't know. So this is the second avenue. Number one, let me repeat, unknown source of demonic possession. When you don't know the source of this satanic influence to make a human being commit all this crime, those who first committed it because Shaitan beautified the evil for them. But sometimes we find believers who pray doing it, and it is not for money and power. The second source is when you consciously seek for money. Even the Yahoo boys do it. They do bestiality. When they keep dogs, it is for that purpose. So any attempt to make money through Shaitan will require homosexuality. All others are manifestations of a conscious invitation of Shaitan into their lives. Once you want to have anything through unnatural means, Shaitan will prescribe all this as conditions to achieve your aim. Number 3, when it is an affliction from a third party, frequently we find that it is the mothers in the north here. Sometimes a woman that used kaya mata to snatch somebody's husband and makes the husband unable to perform on his wives. And one of the wives go out to meet Bauka, and the Bauka places a curse on the children, whether male or female. We find so many cases. When you trace, you find that this abnormality is a curse that was placed on the children to punish the parents. The target is simple. He or she will not have a happy marriage. When your partner catches you in any of these, the next thing is that that partner will do away with the marriage and the parent will be shamed. There's a professor in my university. His problem was he divorced a powerful woman, and that woman placed the curse on him. And it displays all sorts of abnormality. And he cannot marry a woman for more than 2 years. Once the woman gets a baby or two for him, he will divorce her. People were blaming him until we tried to diagnose it. Then we looked for the woman and begged her. Because you cannot pray it off. You cannot pray it away. And if you ask me, I'll give an example. A woman afflicted another woman, and the woman went to the prophet to complain. And the prophet invited the woman. So when she came, the prophet said, no, a man used witchcraft or wizardry to afflict another man. So when the prophet invited the two of them, he said, yes, he offended him, so he dealt with him. The prophet said he should say sorry, so he said sorry. Now I said, I don't know how to undo it. The Prophet Islam now said he should turn his izar upside down and use the water of ablution it should soak the tip of his izar into the water for the ablution that he collected from the boy, and then he should wipe him. He should beat him with the flap of his arm, and that was how he was able to undo it. The prophet did not pray, just as he did not pray for the epileptic woman. He only advised her. So there are many things that you don't pray away. Let's go on. So there is another unusual psychospiritual and emotional situation. Let's take 3 examples. When couple have intimacy and one of them begins to feel pain as if somebody has beaten him blue and black, that means the second partner is possessed. And the gene inside her is the one beating the husband. Or if it is the wife that will feel pain several days after intimacy, it is the gene, the female gene, that is the wife of the husband that is beating the wife. That has to be traced. Both have to confess, and they have to tell their experiences in their sleeps, in their wakefulness, and other things before we can, solve that problem. They have to tell stories. The second one is when a woman feels that more than one man is having her. That means there is a gene that does it with her husband. Extremely painful sex, extremely painful. Where the third one is where the private part of the woman closes at the commencement of intimacy. The private part will close. It will be as if the man is deflowering his wife. And this will not happen all the time. It will happen once in a while. Sometimes it happens at the commencement of the marriage. That means the gene inside the woman is warning the husband to leave his wife alone. So when we have difficulties having intimacy, the place is narrow, this place is dry, the place is whatever. Before we knew it, we were applying orthodox medical treatment. Alhamdulillah, today we know such things. It is a warning signal. The point is, he does not want the marriage to last. Because when it becomes painful and impossible, the husband will kukuma say, "Abel, let's forget about it." Or he will marry another woman, and then there will be crisis forever. The third one is when you have intimacy today and you have a problem tomorrow. And the problem is a very serious one, and it is consistent. Anytime you have great sex, you will have to suffer for a long time. The target is don't have intimacy so that eventually you'll be tired of each other and there'll be divorce. That is the target of Shaitan. He is not happy with any jinn or shayateen that causes any problem, death, accident, failures, and so on. He's happy only with the one that causes divorce. But divorce is difficult where there is love. The only thing to smash, break, destroy love is to create a breach of trust. A breach of trust. And to create shame. Once any of these shameful acts is discovered from any of the spouses, we found that the marriage would be difficult to patch. The marriage usually becomes difficult to manage because that is essentially the target of Shaitan. How do we now manage this situation? Number one, we cannot manage undisclosed problem. We can't manage undisclosed problem. Number two, we cannot manage a problem of somebody who has faulty faith. There are two faulty faiths. Simplistic faith. Don't worry, just do Azkar. Yes, Azkar is effective, but it's not the solution to somebody who is conscious of an extra human presence. Let me give an example. A woman has difficulty having sex with her husband, and it is always. She knows that there is a gene inside her, or a woman is wet all the time. She's wet all the time. She's attracted to a third party all the time. She knows that she has problem. She may eventually commit zina, and the husband is aware. The husband may stupidly enjoy her. That it won't take time before they have intimacy because his wife is always wet. His wife is always ready. It's an indication that there's a gene inside her. A woman needs the hand or the voice of a man to get wet. But a woman that will get wet, immediately the husband says, come, she's already wet. Or she's sitting with her husband, she's wet. Or she's hearing somebody's voice, she's wet. And she's looking at somebody's picture, she's wet. She's watching television, she's wet. She's always wet. She has no difficulty getting wet. You cannot say the woman should just be praying. You have to dislodge her partner because eventually that partner will get her out of her husband's house. Sometimes the partner, the gene partner, will make her commit zina, and the husband will know. And there's no husband that will be aware that his wife commits zina and still wants to continue with the marriage, except if the husband is also a zani who commits zina. Sometimes the gene inside her will push her to certain extremes. Certain extremes. An example, this one was very, very funny. They went to work, and the wife called the husband. Where are you? Said he was at work. Said, meet me at a particular hotel. There's a problem because their workplace, you know, that Lagos kind of thing now, they were living in Ikorodu. They were both working on island. So the wife now asked the husband to meet her in a hotel on the island, that there was an emergency. She had already booked a room. So there is no emergency. I just need you. I want to feel you inside me. They did 1 round, 2 rounds, 3 rounds, until the husband slumps. The woman was not satisfied until the husband slumped. Then it happened the second time after some days, and she was asking her husband whether he wasn't also enjoying it. She will give the husband blow job, blah 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 blah, give him some drugs, and the husband eventually was made to think that he was married to a prostitute. That how has she been managing since all these days? Because this problem did not manifest in time. So the husband did not know. So these are kinds of problems that you don't pray away. Somebody must speak up. When you hide it, you go to somebody, and somebody just says, let us do this thing. Rukia. Rukia will not work until the partner is consciously dislodged. And sometimes dislodging the partner requires a very strong will on the part of the man and the woman. Here is a diagnosis. A gym partner that is struggling with the man that will not go, even after rukia. What is required is not rukia. It is askar plus continuous intimacy. Everyday intimacy, except during menses. Everyday intimacy will intimidate the jinn. The jinn will protest, the jinn will fight, eventually the jinn will go. Why the jinn is protesting and fighting? If the husband does not have strong will, he will give up. Because he will feel that he's inflicting pain on the wife. But it is the jinn that is beating the wife for allowing a third party to have her. In some cases, the wife will not feel the beating, but she will feel the pain. In some cases, the jinn will be talking through the mouth of the wife. We have seen several cases where the husband wanted to withdraw. Each time they want to start, the jinn will come and create situations that will make the husband to retreat. There's another situation, which is the fourth one, that each time you want to have intimacy, either the wife will be asleep, being tired, or the husband will be tired, or at the commencement of intimacy, he loses erection. Every time he will lose erection. How will he lose erection? The wife will say something that will annoy the husband, and the husband will lose erection. Ordinarily, you would think this is a psychological thing, that the husband is too temperamental, and some husbands cannot tolerate certain talks, and then you blame the wife. No. Sometimes, when you want to have intimacy, the jinn will use the hand of the wife to hit the husband. And the husband would think his wife has gone violent. And so they won't have intimacy. Everything is targeted at not having intimacy, not being happy, being frustrated, and considering divorce. Because whether we like it or not, whether we admit or not, whether we deny it, the central issue in marriage is intimacy, is libido. Libido increases love. It increases bonding between spouses, and it leads to incontrovertible partnership, friendship. You want to be together all the time, not so that we have intimacy all the time, but that intimacy is a powerful tool in the hands of Allah, with which He bonds husband and wife. Once a third party is not involved, intimacy makes it impossible for shaitan to come between you. But when shaitan uses a third party to make intimacy painful, difficult, impossible, and threatening, for example, this very strange one, you have intimacy today, you have problem tomorrow. Maybe your car will have accident. Maybe somebody will steal your property. Maybe you have query in your office. Maybe something will just happen. Somebody will fall sick. And for a long time, you won't even think of intimacy. When it becomes consistent, you want to stop it. And you want to consider separation. Let me stop tonight here and summarize. There are so many unusual spiritual, psychological, and emotional situations. A situation where it is shaitan. It is shaitan of untraceable origin when you do these unusual things. It is shaitan that is traceable to you when these things are conditions for your wealth and power. It is shaitan when it's a third party you're offended. You had a girlfriend, you ditch her, and she places trouble in your life. Sometimes an admirer may place or send spiritual missile to your wife. An admirer of the wife may also send missile to the husband. All these we need to open up. You will 50 times, 50% of the time, you will know and suspect an admirer that may send spiritual missile to you. 50% of the time, you may not know. And when I say you may not know, it is not that you don't know the person when you see him or her. It is that you will never think that it could be that person. Somebody who pretends to love your wife, she's a woman, she will always ask after your wife. But what she wants to hear is that your wife is sick. Because she cannot bring herself to tell you that she admires you and she will do anything to get your wife out of your life. Whether or not she will replace your wife. Things like this have happened. We need to open up. We need to tell ourselves what is happening to us. When we have strong dreams, we feel a strong presence of an extra human being in our lives. Let us open up with confidence. There is no solution, there is no problem without solution. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك ونشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت ونستغفرك ونتوب إليك. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون. سلام على المرسلين. والحمد لله رب العالمين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. جزاك الله خير sir.
وإياك.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. Brothers and sisters, daddies and mummies. So let us, as usual, enrich the discussion, ask questions, seek clarification, give me more information or experience. We have between now and 9:30 to do that. So let us raise our digital hand if you have any contribution to make or question to ask or clarification to seek.
A question.
Yes, sir. Are we here? Okay. Yeah, Global Amira. You can unmute and ask your question. Global Amira, you can unmute and ask your question, ma.
So, Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Once more, we thank our professor for the brilliant delivery. We pray Almighty Allah. We count this and so many other goodies as acts of ibadah that will be worthy of reward here and in the hereafter. The Almighty Allah elongate your life in goodness. The question I want to ask is there a way of knowing that one is possessed before marriage? What are those things that will be pointers that, oh, maybe this person is possessed even before marriage? For example, maybe during counseling, the counselor observes certain things and then the person is able to tell the partner. So that is my question. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi.
Yeah. Alaikum salam. Grandma, there are ways of knowing, but the difficulty is who wants to know? It depends on the person that wants to know. Usually, we don't think about it, so we don't want to know. And if you don't want to know, you can't know. So most of the time, the spouses carry their demonic possession into their marriage. And it is after marriage that people begin to notice unusual things happening. Then most of the time we now make mistakes of doing rukia without tracing the problem to wherever it is supposed to be rested. Sometimes the person will know three things. Should know that she is possessed. See, water.
Imam, you have muted yourself, sir.
Who muted me now?
I don't know, sir.
Usually, oh, okay. Are you, since when have I been muted?
Well, you said surely the possessed person will know he or she is possessed.
Okay. So she will know if she dreams of water, river all the time, snakes all the time, and sex. If she has sex in her dream, she will know. If she doesn't know this is demonic possession, she should speak up. But sometimes, whether she knows or not, she is desperate to marry. She carries the baggages into marriage, and trouble will start after marriage. Some of the time, we make mistakes about these matters. We do wrong diagnosis, and then we start having problems. We go straight to Rukia. That is not the solution. We trace the source of the problem, and then we attack the problem. Then Rukia is the final thing that will happen. The man is usually pushed. Demons are hardly living inside men. They hardly live inside men, except when men possess genes. Genes do not possess men. It is men who possess genes. When you look for locally, the gene will not come. Then you possess the gene and you become a devil. And somebody who does this consciously, you do some stupid prayers consciously, of course, you will know when the genes come. And so on and so forth. Wallahu alam. Let's take doctor. Surgeon Sulaiman Abdullah. Am I muted again? Dr. Sulaiman Abdullah.
We are not muted, sir. Let him unmute himself and speak, sir.
Now, sir. Jazakumullah khairan. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue to increase you in knowledge and wisdom, sir. My concern and question is actually what partially what our mother asked. Is it I'm concerned about the unmarried actually. Is it possible for one to know if an intended partner is possessed? What are those things? Because when we look at the way the Sharia, the processes to one getting married in the Sharia, it does not really give too much room for things we see these days, maybe couples living together and all those things that are haram. So how is it possible? And we know family members sometimes hide a lot of things, maybe maybe somebody that people have not come to seek her hand in marriage, and the brother is coming after a long time.
These are the
maybe everybody just wants her to leave the house. Everybody just wants her to leave the house and so on. So how can an intending partner know that someone is possessed ahead?
Well, it is by talking. It is by counseling. We have started counseling. However, this one I want to say is my personal opinion. I don't think it is anything to worry about, because a conscious attempt to know whether a partner is possessed will always yield positive. Definitely a partner will be possessed. You know why? According to the Prophet, everybody has a Quran. So by any means that you want to know whether somebody is possessed, the presence of a Quran is enough to make it possible. It's like DNA. You know, my personal opinion is that we shouldn't worry before marriage. But when it happens after marriage, we should face it. The worst is this: the gene inside the wife, making it difficult for the husband to have intimacy with his wife. That is the worst. Always coming between you, disturbing you, not wanting you to enjoy each other. What you do, even the strange one that you have intimacy today, you have problem tomorrow. The solution is to continue to have intimacy. Break the jinx. Love your wife. I mean, just continue to have, if you like, excess sex. That will annoy the jinn and it will go. Jinns are very stupid and cowardly. They are very cowardly. He would think that you have certain power. And then you know that we are water. And intimacy is about water, two waters. The water from the man entering the woman, quenching the fire of the jinn inside the woman. That is what the jinn doesn't want. The jinn doesn't want you to pour that water to quench the fire of the jinn inside your wife. So it's a simple thing, but very difficult to understand. Just continue to expose yourself to intimacy, whether you enjoy it or not. The jinn will eventually run away. Wallahu alam. It is 9:30. Are we going to take Alhaji Abrazak?
I think we can take him in 1 minute, sir.
Is he there? Alhaji Abrazak, are you sure you are there?
You just unmute me, sir.
Alaikum salam.
Alhamdulillah, sir. Just say Alhamdulillah, because I believe Allah will continue to serve you for his name. Now, what I want to say is
Alhamdulillah.
to appreciate the fact that we were prepared before now, and so many things that happen now when we listen, just like allow for his space. On what you have said about the fact that not everything is about prayer, but ruqyah. There was one thing that happens, and that I don't think I ever discussed before. A couple, very loving couple, the man used to beat, he's always getting annoyed. And when he's annoyed, he can do anything. Very, very unusual. Can throw anything in his hand. So the wife confided in me. And then I would just say, we use them water to quench the fire in the man. This is not something to be because she's not taking. The effect will make the man to become dodge. However, the anger disappear and the man say loving husband to his wife. So sometimes, like you said, not everything that we see require that we will sit down and start doing okay. There's something that action needs to be taken, and you must know before the action is taken. Another one that happens is the man had an issue. He has a divorce. People told me you are aware of it. However, recently he made a narrative his ordeal and watch how they have inflicted a lot of pain on him from his divorce wife. And then we asked him to do certain things. Some of the things that we have taught on the show. Behold, even what the ruqyah he has done. The people that do ruqyah for you are not asking how he said, what he did was the first 7 days, he was having a nightmare. But the 7th day, he was celebrating. I said, go and do what's it called? After Fatih, to thank Allah. 7 and then do Sarah. And that is over. And sincerely, Imam, sincerely, even the evil that do ruqyah for him was saying, well, me, my mom did not take ruqyah. What he taught me is to believe in the land. Sometimes use water, sometimes water others. Something that will just make it to look like real. But you did yourself and he did himself. I never participated in it. But beyond sir, well, alhamdulillah, he's able to overcome. So like we said, these are very feeble if you have the confidence that Allah is with you and you always rely on him. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Yeah, thank you very much. These are very stupid and fearful. They are cowards, but what they fear most is water. Zamzam and rainwater. The rainwater you collect without the intervention of the roof. You take your container, maybe you put it on your car. If there is no Osoro around, that pure water, pure rainwater, just pour it on the person that is having issues. It will come down. It will come down. But if it is between husband and wife, intimacy is the magic. Just have it, whether it is painful or not, then the jinn will run away. Wallahu ta'ala alam. I'm done. I'm done.
So there are two questions or issues on the chat box, sir.
Okay, let me go there. It appears no one couple is spared from spiritual attack. It could be what our hand has put forth or trial from Allah. Yes, of course. Prof, you are correct. I always admire your summary. There is no, in fact, I did not tell you that one of the examples applied to me. I didn't tell you, I didn't have to tell you. So that is it. I have a fear that this lecture may be misunderstood. Particularly it concerns the fact that no one is spared of the gene's influence. Maybe a repeat could be necessary. Well, thank you, Suraj. We will continue the diagnosis next week, inshallah. A repeat is difficult, if not impossible, but then we will repeat. The fact is, Allah himself says whoever does arada and zikri, because jidlahu shaitan wa inna lahu qarin. We will change his qarin to shaitan, and he will become an intimate friend of him. When Aisha did something and the Prophet said, as your devil come upon you, the Prophet now said, Aisha now said, did you not say everybody has a devil? The Prophet said, yes, but I've conquered my own. He has become a Muslim. Everybody has a Quran. If you turn away from Askar, your Quran will change to Shaitan. So that's just it. But if you need clarification, I don't like people saying the lecture may be misunderstood. Just say, I can misunderstand. Don't speak for others. Don't speak for others. If you have any personal issue, revert to me privately. I will do clarification. Salam alaikum.
Salam. National coordinator, sir.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. We thank Allah and pray Allah to continue to spare our life to benefit from this session. We pray Almighty Allah to continue to preserve the Imam on goodness and give his son health. We pray Almighty Allah to continue to provide for all of us as we are expanding our resources attending this session. May it be beneficial for us, and we should try to explain the little that we can explain to other people, save people from the punishment and for the torturing of this world, and maybe refer those we know that are having some certain issues to appropriate quarter. We pray Allah to give us more opportunity to enjoy it. Till next week again, Jazakumullah khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
For the next week, Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.